Good day, friends and viewer. Let me tell you about very interesting and adventurous novel, full of adventure and very surpriseful also. The name of this novel is Around the World in 80 Days, written by Jules Verne. Around in 80 Days, The World in 80 Days is a very famous in literature, English literature. So Phyllis Fogg is an upstanding English gentleman who spends his days playing whist, a card game, with his friend at the Reform Club, and spend his night alone in his large upscale town home on the Savile Row in London. Fogg has no wife, no children, and mostly keeps to himself. An air of mystery surrounds Fogg wherever he goes. Because of his extreme reticence, he keeps his thoughts and his heart well hidden. He keeps his mystery. Fogg follows a strict routine every day. He has tea and toast at about 8:23 a.m., shaves at 9:37 a.m., gets dressed at 9:40 a.m. He leaves the house at 11:30 a.m. to join his friends at Reform Club and returns home at midnight. Every clock and watch he owns is synchronized down to the second. One October morning in 1872, Fogg fires his servant for bringing him shaving water that is 2 degrees too cold. Jean Passepartout, a Frenchman, arrived shortly after looking for employment. Even though he's 4 minutes late, Fogg hires him on the spot. Passepartout's first job is to get Fogg ready in time to leave the house by 11:30 a.m. Passepartout feels relieved to find the orderly state of Fogg's home. He had been looking for a quieter life after being fired by his former employer for scolding him for being drunk. Passepartout has held many hectic jobs: circus performer, gym teacher, and fireman, and just wants rest. He's further encouraged when he finds that Fogg's shoes and clothes are numbered by the time of the year they should be worn. Passepartout thinks Fogg must be some kind of machine-like human. That morning, while playing whist at the club, Fogg and his friend overhear news that a robber disguised as a gentleman has stolen £55,000 from the Bank of England. One of the members, Andrew Stuart, remarks that the robber is probably long gone. Since the world is so large and there are plenty of places to hide, this comment piques Forrest's interest. Fogg says the world has once large, but it is no longer so big. He says that it is now possible to travel across the world in 80 days due to the modern advances in transportation. Fogg's friends scoff at him, which emboldens him to make a daring wager. He bets £20,000, all the money he has in the bank. The men accept his wager and agree to find him at the Reform Club in the same room at the same time 80 days later, on December 21st at 8:45 p.m., or they will collect the bet. Meanwhile, London police officer Detective Fix has a theory that Fogg is actually the thief after hearing about Fogg's wager, which has made news. Fix rumor gained traction throughout the public, especially since Fogg is so quiet and reserved and no one knows much about him. Fix is even more motivated by the reward offered for the catching Fogg. £2,000 and 5% of the recovered money. Fix follows Fogg on his travels, the first stop being at Swiss, Egypt, where Fix waits for a warrant for Fogg's arrest to arrive. With Passepartout in tow and Fix in hot pursuit, Fogg continues to make his way across the world. Soon, Fogg arrives in India, where he finds that modern advances in transportation haven't evolved as much as he thought, and he's forced to travel by elephant for part of the way. Fogg sees Hindu priests who are on the way to a human sacrifice, and with the Passepartout help is able to save an English woman, Auda, from being killed. Auda joins the man in their travels. Fix continues to follow the group, arranging situations with the locals and consuls to delay them. When Passepartout commits a crime by wearing shoes in a Hindu pagoda, Fix arranged to have the Hindu bring him to court and have Fogg charged and punished on behalf of Passepartout. The plan fails because the wealthy Fogg is able to make bail for himself and Passepartout. The group continues toward Hong Kong by way of Singapore, dodging obstacles but still making good time along the way. Fix finally reveals himself to Passepartout and his belief that Fogg is a criminal. Hoping to enlist Passepartout help in delaying Fogg until the arrest warrant arrives, Passepartout is appalled and in a show of loyalty to his master, refuses to be complicit with Fix later. However, Passepartout relents, realizing Fix can help them get to London faster, which would help ensure that Fogg wins the bet. The group continues on toward Japan, where Passepartout gets caught up for a day with a troop of clowns, then across the Pacific, landing in San Francisco. While Fogg, Passepartout, and Auda makes their way across America, the land and people pose similar changes to those faced in India. Fogg suffers himself from boisterous American attacks from the local Sioux tribes, weak bridges, faulty transportation, and sledge rides across snow. Wolf-ridden prairies, the group finally makes it to New York, where they find they have just missed the last boat to England. Fogg makes a deal with the reluctant Captain Speedy to get home to get them to Bordeaux, France, but ends up taking control of the Speedy ship to steer it toward Liverpool. When the ship runs out of the fuel at sea, Fogg orders the crew member to burn parts of the ship to make the last leg of the trip. Despite all his daring attempts and hundreds of pounds spent to make it back to London in time, Fogg feels crestfallen to find that he arrives in London too late. He's lost the bet. He sits in Rome and next day refusing to go to the Reform Club, where the men